Hello everybody, it is me, deogenz, here with another edition of Pokemon of the Week. This week, we are going to take a look at an interesting sun-worshipping lizard. I know we did a fire lizard last week, but this week, Heliolisk, the Weather Wonder set, will be our electric normal type lizard. However, do note, it has a similar ability to what Charizard had access to. Solar Power! Dry Skin and Sand Veil, which is what makes it a wonder in all your weather teams. Almost all of them. It doesn't have an ability for hail, and that makes sense since it's a lizard and it's cold-blooded. Oh, biology, how you come and redesign Pokemon for us without us knowing. So, what does Solar Power do? Say you want it on a sunny day team. Well, if you don't remember from last week, what it does is increase your special attacking power, which, if you take a quick look to the effort value side of things, is what we're going to be maxing out for Heliolisk. This is going to look like an NU, RU probably tiered special sweeper to me, just because the rest of its stats are pretty pitiful. Not so high up there defense, and it's a normal type, which means that it's very weak to fighting type moves. So it's something to consider as far as tiering it goes, but I'd like to hear your opinions on that in the comments below. So, if you want to max out that attack every turn, you will put this in your sunny day team and make sure to set up the sun before it comes out. However, there is a caveat. Do note that it will take away health similar to a life orb. So if you're the ambitious health throwing to the side type who likes to sweep really swiftly, and I mean really swiftly because you have to do it that way because your poke will be dead within a couple of turns, then you can include Life Orb in conjunction with Solar Power. So add that to your Sunny Day team and you will be getting super powerful special attacks. And that's why these things need to be tiered, because in an OU tier, this would probably be knocked out in no time. But in RU and NU, it has a chance to actually retaliate. And you would hope with its ample amounts of speed and maxing that out in effort values, you would be able to outrun some of your weaknesses and get the jump on them first. And I'll go into what you can do about those weaknesses a little later, but let's talk about Dry Skin. Dry Skin is different from the Sunny Day team. In essence, you need a moisturizer for this poke if you have dry skin, because what it does is unfortunately gives you another weakness. It makes you weak to fire type moves. However, you can now absorb, like water absorbability, any water type moves and regain it as health instead of damage. How friggin' sweet is that? So you do gain that weakness. However, look, Surf is already one of its learnable moves. When I saw this, I was super surprised and pleased. I guess this two-legged bipedal lizard can do the sort of running across water thing where it doesn't give a fuck and it can bring waves with it in its wake. So you can wipe out those fire types that will become its new weakness, and ground types. So consider that. Dry Skin will also, if you have this all set up with your rain team properly, boost the power of Surf. So again, you're not getting a 50% power boost every time with Solar Power, but it's a lot safer, and this would be the more healthy strategy to go with if you're interested in HP. Healthy being all the health preserved. I wouldn't really look to remix its effort values, even choosing this ability. That's why it's all the abilities on one set, because I don't see maxing out its defense or special defense even that practical. I think it would be wiped out too fast. However, Dry Skin could give you some more longevity, but you really want to make sure that your special attack and speed is not diminished in any way. Sand Veil is the last of its weather wonderful effects that will allow you to play it on a Sandstorm team, which is nice to have an electric normal type on those types of team. And you can get a up in your evasion by that. So I would say it's the least interesting of all the abilities, but if you do have a Sandstorm team and you're looking for another player, this could be it, and it holds Surf, so consider all of these things. Nature-wise, it's going to be the typical special sweeper set, modest and timid, max out the speed or max out the special attack, up to you. And on the item side of things, I omitted the choice items because I think for this set you need a little versatility. You need to be able to switch up your moves depending on who comes to the field, and that leads us to the ever valuable moveset. Thunderbolt, Razor Wind are the two stab moves for it. The nice thing about having two types on this, although it gains another weakness, not just ground, but also fighting. And if you also have the rather dry skin ability, you'll be weak to fire as well. It's nice that you get 2 stabs instead. And Razor Winds also increases the chance of critical hit, or has an increased chance of critically hitting your foe. So that's fantastic. Focus Blast, good thing to throw out there for all the ice and steel types you encounter. Surf, we mentioned before, takes out rock, ground, fire. It's awesome. And perhaps Grass Knot if you want to trick your water types, or really I don't see the point of Grass Knot, because you could come across a light weakness of yours, maybe who knows, maybe something like a Kingdra. That seems like a light Pokemon, and even that's not even weak to grass, so it doesn't even prove my point. Point being, you have some options with it. Volt Switch if you're not wanting to risk losing your Heliolisk. That's a good way to switch it back out and maybe have that in place of Thunderbolt as a last resort. Now here are the 2 new 6th gen interesting moves that I wanted to mention that really you want to probably think about depending on what setup you have in abilities. Now Parabolic Shock is a 50 base power electric special attacking type move. However, it will take half the damage you do and convert that to health points. So, say you're, I don't know, suffering from solar power diminished health syndrome, and you use a Parabolic Shock on one of your foe's water types. Even though it's a 50 base powered move, it's going to be super effective, and you're going to see grand results return to your Heliolisk. And if you include leftovers instead of Life Orb onto that solar power set that I mentioned before for the Sunny Day team, you could again extend its power and still enjoy the benefits that the special attack 50% boost per turn every time the sun is out gives you. Now Electrify is another interesting option, and what it does, and this is why I say you cannot neglect your speed in this effort value set, it will allow you to change the move that Heliolisk is being hit with if it goes first. And what I mean by that is it will change your opponent's move. Hopefully they're hitting you with something offensive and they're not switching, and hoping that you switch in return so they can use a boosting move, but that's over prediction, right? So what it'll do is it will change their move into an electric type move, which, if you look at its super effective ability chart, it is not affected at all. 0.5% affected by electric type moves. So it's a great way to throw off your opponents who think they're going to be harming you significantly. There's a lot of fun tricks you could play with this lizard thanks to its fun weather abilities. It's almost like a reptilian cast form, except it doesn't change its physical form. It stays the same unless you have the shiny version, and it gives you a lot of options. You can play with your foes and keeping health on this poke while you still gain solar power abilities, or if you have the rain set, it does also gain health from the rain. I might have not mentioned that, but yes, you gain health from getting hit by water type moves and just being rained upon. So that is Heliolisk for this week of Pokemon of the Week. Let me know what you think below. Have you battled with him before? I actually haven't. I thought I saw his pre-evolved form plenty of times, but I never bothered to raise him. Honestly, when I first saw leaked images of his pre-evolved form, I thought it was some pre-evolution of Mawile. But it's not, and I'm glad it's not, because this is an awesome poke. And speaking of awesome pokes and how to raise them, I will be ending this series, sadly, at episode 100. But not really sadly, because Season 2, or at least the spiritual survivor of it, Season 2, will start on my channel, youtube.com/deogenz, as Pokemon Potential. It's the new series I'll be making. And so for the last couple of episodes that we have until 100, episode 100 I already got something selected, so sorry. Start commenting now. What Pokemon would you like to see? I got a lot of requests for the next week's poke, so don't worry about that one, but continue to comment so I can poll what I should do in the last couple of weeks of Pokemon of the Week. I've been deogenz, reminding you to subscribe to Planet Poke, and me if you want to see Poke Potential, and I will see you next week. Welcome back to Effort Value Expertise, the Heart Gold, Soul Silver Effort Value Training Series put on by me, deogenz, and today what we are focusing on is physical attack. So, you want yourself an offensive sweeper, you say. Well, Make sure that you have Poke